Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. LeBron being the GOAT of the 210s in the 2020s, this is why the NBA is like it is. This is the standard for the LeBron era right here. Everything you see on the screen coincides on why the NBA and the NBA players and the NBA product is trash. And I know that's kind of harsh to be calling the NBA players trash. But look, guys, I just don't know how else to say it. And as we go along in this story, the fact that LeBron could build 3 super teams and the NBA owners and the NBA players had nothing to say about it. Had zero to say about it. Now, people be like, well, this team, they built super teams. That's what they'll say. A whole bunch of nonsense. But we're talking about the GOAT. The GOAT. The GOAT went around building super teams. Now, Charles Barkley isn't the GOAT. Clyde Drexler isn't the GOAT. Hakeem Olajuwon isn't the GOAT. Right? They built super teams because they couldn't beat the GOAT. You get me? They couldn't beat the GOAT. And some people be like, oh, well, Hakeem and Drexler, they won championships when Michael was in there. Yeah, they won championships when Michael Jordan had just came back from baseball in 95. It took that for them to win championships. Okay? And some people say, oh, man, they would have beat the Bulls in 94. Bro, we don't know this nonsense that people is talking about. Or 95. What was it? Yeah, they won 94 and 95. Houston did. We don't know this, man. One of those years, even though they swept Shaq, was it that year they was a number 8? One of those years, they was like it was great with number 6 or something like that. They were a real low seed, right? And that year when they beat Shaq, a real undisciplined Magic team. Good team. One of the best teams that the Magic had. But still, Shaq was not a leader, right? I think that was in 95. Yes. 94. Let's think about it. Let's think about this one. The Knicks took them to game 7. Let me give it to you again. The Knicks took them to game 7 with Patrick Ewing, all-time great player. He had a bad finals. There's players that had bad finals. LeBron had bad finals. Kobe had bad finals. Shaq had bad finals. Wilt Chamberlain had bad finals. It just happens like that sometimes. Yeah, think about that. In 94, the New York Knicks with Patrick Ewing playing like poop, still taking the Houston Rockets to game 7. The Bulls never lost to the Knicks. The Bulls never lost to the Knicks. 94, Horace Grant wasn't gone. Horace Grant was still on that team. Remember, the Knicks had played the Bulls without Jordan that year. The difference was, if Jordan was still there, the Bulls would have won, right? You know, they cheated Pippen out that foul. We all know about that. So the Bulls most likely would have won. And then we go back to 95, and you guys say, oh, they didn't have Horace Grant. Horace Grant would have never left, idiots. What are you talking about? Horace Grant would have never left. So they might have won a damn 6-peat. Or for sure, a 5-peat. They would have not lost to Houston. Again, Houston built that super team with Charles Barkley and, who was that? That was Charles Barkley, Hakeem, and Drexler. What was that? That was like 97, 98. I mean, these guys were broke down, man. I mean, they were still all-stars, but they were leaving their primes. Michael Jordan was not in his prime no more when he came back in 95, 96, well, the end of 95, in 96, 97. Yes, he won MVPs, and yes, he was all-time great. But he was not Air Jordan, right? He beat people off of fundamentals in the his will and his skill. That's how he beat you. He beat you off of being one of the greatest shooters of all time. I don't know how people didn't see that already in the 80s. Guy was one of the greatest shooters of all time. But he just cemented it in the second three-peat. So let's get back on this. Yes, LeBron building 3 super teams with other teams' number 1 franchise players, leaving his home in 2 of those super teams, well, leaving his home and coming back home, and trying to build another super team when he left his home again in LA, only for it not to work out. Only for it not to work out. And this was like one of them super duper teams, right? It just didn't work out. To me, I don't think Michael Jordan is missing a play-in or the playoffs. Was this a play-in? I think they missed a play-in that year. Playoffs or play-in, whatever. Michael Jordan is not missing the play-in playoffs with that super duper team. Guys are going to have to play their role. Michael Jordan doesn't need the ball like that. And he really showed you on that second three-peat. Give him the ball, he's going to shoot. That's it. Give him the ball, he's going to shoot. That's it. And he's going to defend. Everybody plays a role. On a LeBron team, who the hell knows what you're doing, really? Because LeBron can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot the mid-range. He can't shoot the three. He can't give you no paint work. So everybody's really clueless to what they're really going to do except beating you off of athleticism. And we talked about this before. LeBron's teams, right, since he left Cleveland the first time, I would say really the first, always really. But when you're building super duper teams, now you're building up the athleticism. I know these guys have skills, but the more skillful you are, and in some instances, I ain't gonna say it all the time, but most of these guys like Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and these guys were crazy athletic. And when we talk about crazy athletic, it's not always jump out the gym. Sometimes so. Kyrie and Love, they were good, real good athletes. Saw what Love was able to do in Minnesota. He was a good athlete. So he wants to build up that, not only the skill, the athleticism, and you're not really, his teams really aren't beating you off of fundamentals. And that's why you can't have a real coach like Pops, like Steve Kerr, or like a Phil Jackson or Pat Riley. Pat Riley wasn't coaching that team. And as good as Eric Spoelstra is, that team was not winning off of X's and O's. It was off of athleticism. Let's get real. When he went to Cleveland, off of athleticism. What was that coach they fired over there, the European coach? That dude was trying to coach, but they tried to put them in like the Princeton or something like that, and he got fired. He gets fired because the system is LeBron gets at least 27 points per game. Everybody backs down when he gets his flat-footed defensive rebounds, and he has the ball in his hand all the time for his 7 assists. That's the gig. That's what's going on, folks. And all that's made possible, I mean, for him to get them stats and win, the only way it can be consistent to win the championships, the team has to be a super team. You can't play that style of ball and win. That's why when he went to the 24 Olympics, after the 23 FIBA team lost, he didn't say, okay, Paulo Banchero, is this guy Spanish or something? What is he? Is that a Spanish name? I think it is. Okay, Brunson. Okay, Halliburton. Okay, Ingram. Okay, the next Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards, supposedly. I just can't get enough of this guy being benched on the 24 Olympic team, and they're calling this guy the next Michael Jordan. Could you imagine Michael Jordan being benched? Oh my God, this would just be a crime. How no YouTuber is talking about this. I can make a whole video on this for 2 hours of the next Michael Jordan in the 23 FIBA getting destroyed by international plumbers. And if I'm not mistaken, the fake Rondo Schroeder in Germany, didn't they win the 23 FIBA? Wow. So they won the 23 FIBA. The next Michael Jordan didn't even place. Are you kidding me? And they had all NBA. Don't tell me the world got up to us and go home. You're not real NBA basketball players. You didn't uphold the standard of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley. You're not good. Tell me about no plumbers caught up to you. Then don't play NBA basketball. You're no good. Shut up. You go up for shots, like a little woman. Even the WNBA players don't do this. What the hell is this? Michael Jordan was getting his brains knocked out of his head and wasn't screaming like a little girl when he was playing the Pistons. And you're screaming in the no-touch era? Get the hell out of here. International plumbers beat you and they caught up to you. Well, what the hell are you doing then? What are you doing? How are international plumbers running the NBA? How are you playing international plumber basketball now? You can't even hold the standard in the United States as Americans who started this game because you're getting beat in the Fiba, in the Olympics. They're running your league. You have a cup, playing an international cup. American players are garbage. Don't ever compare yourself to players that played American basketball. Get the hell out of here. Take the L. And the L is you was getting beat by international plumbers. So they came over here, took over your league. And when you go international, you can barely beat them or you can't beat them. This is the dumb stuff that they're telling today's fans. Hey man, 2 + 2 is 6. That's what they're telling people. A slow-footed Rudy Gobert in Wemby in France, the United States 92 Dream Team, they would have a problem with them. It would be hell in the gold medal round. They could barely beat Serbia. Damn, the world caught up to you. We're talking about man for man playing basketball. I don't care about no world catching up to you. I'm talking about let's play. The United States ain't having no problem with Serbia. They're not having no damn problem with France. Destroying them. And as far as the next Michael Jordan losing in the FIBA with Halliburton, Panchero, whatever his name is, Ingram, and all these guys, guess what? I wouldn't even put the Dream Team against these guys. Schroeder and them in Germany. Get the hell out of here. We would put, back then, our college players would beat them. We'll beat Germany and them. What are we talking about? We wouldn't even need a Dream Team to beat those guys. Tell you, when I talk about Anthony Edwards, I get routed up. I don't like this guy. In a soft, weak era like this, dude, you should be giving me 35, 7 and 7. 35, 7 and 7 in at least 2.5 steals in a damn block. Because whatever Michael Jordan was averaging in the 90s, in the 80s, to make that Michael Jordan, what made Michael Jordan was not championships, my friend. From 87, the 86-87 season, all the way until 1990. Go look at those stats. That's gaudy. That's godlike. That's what made Michael Jordan. Nobody had never, ever seen anything like that. Maybe since Wilt Chamberlain. Nobody. On the offensive end, in the defensive end, nobody had never seen anything like that. And that's as a guard. Had no physical advantages over anybody. Cat-like quickness, killing you on the perimeter, could dunk on you, could steal the ball, could block everything. It was unreal. Nobody has ever. Go look at the numbers. 86-87 season, all the way until 90. These numbers are unreal. That's what made Michael Jordan a real stat line. So yeah, I get routed up when I hear Anthony Edwards. This guy's a coward. Getting benched on the damn Olympic team. Hey man, you want to play? You want to play for the bagless wonder who can't shoot the mid-range, can't shoot the three, can't give you no paint work, can't shoot free throws. If you want to play with the bagless wonder on his team, you gotta ride the bench. And then this guy has a nerve. You better watch out for me, man. Everybody got to watch out for me. What do you mean watch? You're on the bench. You're on the bench. Your Adidas brand is on the bench. Michael Jordan ain't coming off no goddamn bench. Michael Jordan would be like, what? Okay, LeBron, guess what? In practice, I'm scoring 40 on your head. In practice, you're going to get this defense. So this is the standard for LeBron James. Building super teams with other teams' number one franchise players, getting walloped while he's doing it, losing to international plumbers. Oh man, he was just 18 in the first Olympics. For you to call yourself the king would ultimately mean you're starting on that team. Michael Jordan never called himself the king or better than anybody else, even though he was called a phenomenal. That's not the word I'm looking for. Phenomenon? Yes. In college, and he still was bowing down to guys in front of him in the NBA. And he got a chance to put something on their heads before he went to the Olympics in those scrimmage games. Right? And he was 18. This guy was 18 years old winning gold medals. The king was dethroned ever since he came into the league. Wasn't an all-star, a king. A king. The world hadn't caught up to us then. So the world caught up to us in 2004. What about 2006 when he had him and his crew went off to the Olympics, and all these guys were averaging almost 30 points per game in the damn NBA. The Waves, the Bosh, the LeBrons, all these guys, Carmelo Anthony, and they got smoked by grease plumbers. What happened? Oh man, they weren't taking it serious. Somebody told me this. They wasn't taking this serious after they just got smoked in the Olympics 2 years ago. They traveled all the way around the world to get smoked again. Well, I don't know where that Fiba was played, but more than likely it was on the other side of the world. Wherever it was, they got smoked. They got a number 3 seed or the bronze. It's a joke. And it's just all that FIBA stuff and Olympics, all that just coincide with his entire career, never being a clutch player, going to get all these great guys and building super teams because he was never that dude. I don't know about you, but Michael Jordan would be disqualified if he built super team after super team after super team. As the GOAT, as the guy running for the GOAT. And Two Raw for TV talked about this. We're talking about Bronny yesterday. And I keep trying to tell people this is not a real sports league. The NBA died in 2000 when LeBron went to Miami. There was no pushback from owners, coaches, and especially really the media, right? There was really no pushback. The NBA was dead. Because if there's no pushback for all that stuff, why not? Why not? So you're playing regular competition with super teams. These guys are all in their primes. And nobody's saying nothing? Then why didn't everybody just go and remember? They get on Kevin Durant. This is so crazy. LeBron built 2 super teams before Kevin Durant built 1. Before he built 1. What are we talking about? So basically, nobody competed in the 210s. Nobody competed because the best stars were on super teams. Nobody competed. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Clay, all of them, Kevin Durant, Curry, all these guys were on super teams. Kyrie, Love, nobody competed. Your best players in the 210s, they weren't competing. They're not competitors. They were all on super teams to destroy the other teams. So the whole 210s is null and void. Y'all tell me what you think, man. And LeBron James is not